managers are making more than virtually any actor you see on TV and as much as any professional athlete you see when they do their job. Last year, on the cover of no less than Forbes magazine, you saw a very handsome African-American don the cover. And the caption was, who is this man, who is this African-American that's richer than Michael Jordan that no one's ever heard of? Well, it's a brother named Robert Smith. Who is Robert Smith? Robert Smith has now become not quite a household name, but more of a widely known name. Robert Smith was a financier for Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs sent him to Silicon Valley at really what became one of the go-go periods in the 90s. Robert Smith did an outstanding job for Goldman Sachs, and when he left, a very wealthy family in Texas said, look, we'll set you up. Gave him $1 billion to manage. He tripled the $1 billion on his first fund, African American. Tripled $1 billion on his first fund, made himself a lot of money, built a firm called Vista Equity Partners. Vista Equity Partners, 12 years later, now manages $14 billion. Well, you should be happy. That's wonderful. Robert Smith has a great life. Robert Smith is doing fabulous things around the country. Robert Smith is not the top performing African American private equity firm. He's not. He's a wonderful friend of mine. He's awesome. He's made a ton of money. He's doing great things. But the insane part of all of this is that there are 2 or 3 other firms earlier in their stage that are coming through, right? Talbot's Department Store. Talbot's Department Store was bought by an African-American firm here in New York. It was losing $50 million a quarter. It now makes $100 million a quarter. So that goes from losing $200 million a year to making $400 million a year. That's an African-American firm. So why is it important? It's important because while wealth is made in many places, wealth is accelerated on Wall Street. And if you cannot, it takes money to make money, you hear that saying? If what was done to African Americans when it comes to finance was done to the US, if someone took 99.5% of the US's money away from it and told it to survive on 0.5%, if the Chinese were ever able to do that, you know what would happen. We would occupy China and we'd take our money back. So I applaud the Reverend and the many years of the work that he's done, and I'll be at the concert this evening.